Part A, work out 5/12 plus 1/6. Now, when you are adding or indeed subtracting fractions, you need to get a common denominator. That means you need to get the bottom half of the fraction looking the same or having the same value. Now, there are a couple of ways that students do this. Some students like to just multiply the two current denominators together to get their common denominator. So if we did this in this situation, we'd do 12 multiplied by 6, which gives us 72. So all I've done there is multiplied the 12 by the 6. And then what you have to think about is how many 12s are in 72? Well, 6. So therefore I must multiply this numerator also by 6, which gives me 30, because 5 6s are 30. On this side, I'm asking myself how many 6s go into 72? Well, on this side, I've multiplied the 6 by 12, logically, because I multiplied these two numbers together to begin with. And therefore, I must multiply this numerator by 12 also, and that gives me 12. So now we have what is called a common denominator. In other words, these two numbers are the same, 72. And now that we've got that, we can add our numerators. So if I add those two numerators together, 12 and 30, I get my answer, which is 42/72. Now we're quite lucky in this question because it doesn't actually say give your fraction in its simplest form. So this seems to be absolutely fine as the answer. The other way that you could have done this is you could have just thought, well, actually, 6 goes into 12, so I can actually find a much lower common denominator. So if I write this out again, so we've got 5/12 plus 1/6. Both these numbers go into 12. So actually, I can find here what's called the lowest common multiple of these two numbers. So how many 12s are in 12? Well, 1. So therefore, I'm just going to multiply the 5 by 1, which gives me 5. In other words, I don't need to change that one at all. How many 6s in 12? 2. And so I'm going to multiply my 1 there by 2 to give me 2. And then you can see we have got a common denominator here, 12 and 12, which means I can now add my numerators. 5 plus 2 is 7. So this answer would also have got you the full 2 marks. And what you will notice is if you simplified this one, you would get this. So they're equivalent anyway, but either would have got you the 2 marks. Okay, moving to part B. It says work out 3/10 multiplied by 5/8. Now it says give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so we must simplify this one. Okay, multiplying is actually the easiest fraction operation to do. You are literally just multiplying across the top and multiplying across the bottom. So I'll rewrite it down here and just show you what to do here. So you are literally doing 3 multiplied by 5 across the top and 10 multiplied by 8 across the bottom. So if I do that, 3 multiplied by 5 gives me 15. And if I go along the bottom, 10 multiplied by 8 gives me 80. Now, if I simplify this, because of course it does tell me to get it into its simplest form, I need to divide through by, well, preferably the highest common factor of these two numbers. But even if you can't identify the highest common factor of these two numbers, that's fine, you can do it in stages. I can see straight away that 5 will go into both of these numbers because they both end in either a 5 or a 0. So I'm going to divide by 5. top and bottom, if I divide 15 by 5, I get 3. And if I divide 80 by 5, I get 16. So 3/16. The other way that you could have done this is as follows. So 3/10 multiplied by 5/8. Some methods you will see where you're sort of crossing out common factors here. So you can see that 5 goes into 10 twice, so this becomes a 2 on the denominator here, and this becomes a 1. And then the same process applies. You're literally just multiplying across the top, multiplying across the bottom. So here the numerator would be 3 multiplied by 1, which gives you 3, and the denominator would be 2 multiplied by 8, which is 16. And you can see, therefore, by doing that, it gives you it in its simplest form straight away. And it actually, we've checked our answer by doing it twice anyway. But just be careful, because you can't cross out common factors like this in an addition or subtraction situation, only in this situation. Okay, well done.